All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Good day. If you just tune in, you are watching Today in Retrospect with me, Shejackiesays. The headlines. The Queen will be laid to rest today in Westminster Abbey. Ukraine's president says investigation into possible Russian war crimes are continuing in the northeast city of Izium. Bodies are being exhumed on the edge of the city. At least 10 people have died in Italy after heavy rains hit the central region of Markay. Search operations are underway for 4 people who are still missing. Also, the death of Queen Elizabeth leads to renewed African calls for apologies. Now, the news in details. The Queen's state funeral will take place at Westminster Abbey today, Monday, 19 September 2022. Funeral that has been meticulously planned for decades and is expected to be the most watched live event in TV's history. After 10 days of tributes and ceremonies, King Charles III and his royal family will lead a final all-day pomp-filled send-off involving 3 somber ceremonies and the same number of processions for her flag-covered coffin. The funeral is due to start at 11 a.m. local time, with the Abbey packed full of world leaders and dignitaries, as well as 200 citizens invited for their extraordinary contributions to British life. The service will be led by Dean of Westminster, David Hall, with the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, giving the sermon and commendation. The new Prime Minister will be one of those speaking. The Archbishop of York, the Cardinal Archbishop of Westminster, the moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, and the Free Church's moderator will also say prayers. She will ultimately be buried alongside Prince Philip, the Queen's husband of 73 years, who died last year just before his 100th birthday. Also, Ukraine has documented 34,000 alleged cases of war crimes since Russia invaded the country in February. Ukrainian officials says they've uncovered mass grave sites containing hundreds of bodies and signs of torture in the recently reclaimed town of Izium. This burial site in Izium has more than 400 graves. Now assumed, the earth is starting to give away its secrets. The prosecutor presence believes that one way or the other, Russia killed all of the dead. Ukrainian forces retook Izium as part of a successful counter-offensive to reclaim territory that the Russian military occupied several months ago. In Izium this week, officials says that more than 400 bodies were found in mass graves, just some of the 1,000 bodies discovered since Ukraine reclaimed the city. Anton Gerashenko, an Interior Ministry advisor, warned the massacre in the city could be even worse than the tragedy in Bucha, where officials and reporters have uncovered evidence of torture and rape executions. At least 10 people have died after flash floods hit the Italian region of Markay overnight. Authorities said torrential rain falling late on Thursday caused rivers and streams to overflow and inundate coastal areas around the regional capital of Ancona. Rescuers are still searching for 4 others, including a child who was separated when a river burst its banks. According to one local report, a mother who managed to escape her car with her child in her arms became separated from him after being overwhelmed by water when the River Mesa burst its bank. Emergency workers managed to rescue the woman overnight, but her 6-year-old child is one of the several still missing, local outlets report. In addition to 10 dead, Italian newspapers report that around 50 people were being treated at the hospitals for hypothermia and other injuries sustained in the floods. Moving on to our local news stories for today, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has insisted there will be no form of increment in transport fares on Monday, September 18th, 2022. Now, this comes after some media reports indicated there was going to be an increase in transport fares from Monday onwards. Mr. Godfred Abulberi, the General Secretary for Ghana Private Road Transport Union, stated that the union derives no benefits from the price increments. Therefore, all driver unions must exercise patience.
It moved to 12, moved to 13, and fuel moved up to 14.49. You never heard of any member or any union agitating for fare increment. It moved from the 14.49 back to 13.20. And now it has moved back to the 14.50. It doesn't make any change yet. If lubricants have increased, if spare parts have increased, if the fees we pay to DVLA and then the insurance companies and the assemblies all have increased, then we have reason to submit a report and ask for fair increment. But as it stands, when you go around with your cameras to ask our drivers, they will prefer that we embark on a particular move to ask government to reduce fuel prices than simply going out for what? Fair increment.
Now, at the moment, the price of petrol per litre has crossed 11 Ghana cedis and diesel sells over 14 Ghana cedis per litre at most pumps. Now, the police on Sunday discovered a human body in a shallow grave in Wa in the Upper West region. The body is suspected to be that one of the missing private security men in the area. The police are yet to speak on the latest discovery. Also, the Rotary Club of Accra Airport and the Rotary Club of Ikeja, Lagos have donated medical supplies valued 25,000 Ghana cedis to the Clean Town Health Center at Nungwa, Accra, as part of efforts to improve healthcare delivery at the facilities. Now, these medical supplies include 2 autoclave machines, 2 digital blood pressure apparatus, 1 bathroom scale, 3 4-fold screens, 3 infantometers, a stadiometer, and 1 2-step trolley. Also trending on Showbiz today, Ghanaian musician Nee Funny has walked back on his explanation for not marrying a woman from his own ethnic group. The singer, who is a Ga, in defending his decision to marry an African-American woman, said Ga women were scared of him before adding that they were fond of begging for money and did not like working. However, he has apologized for his comments, which triggered a session of his fan base on social media. The musician said news reports from his interview generalized his comments to mean an attack on all Ga women. He added that Ga women are worthy of respect and emulation because of their contribution to all aspects of national development. Also, Ghanaian Afrobeat songstress Wendy Shay over the few days released a snippet of her forthcoming tune, and she calls that Warning. Now, this caused a stir on social media as she shares her grief about her broken heart. According to Wendy Shay, her best friend slept with her man whilst on a road trip, and she posted this. Today's retrospection on sport. Now, Neil Maupay scored his first Everton goal to lead the Merseysiders to their first Premier League win of the season with a 1-0 victory over West Ham United that sent relief around Goodison Park on Sunday. The win ends a run of 4 successive draws for Everton and moves them to the 13th in the standings, while West Ham remain in the bottom 3 with 1 victory from their 7 games. Also, Matthias Pogba has been detained and placed under formal investigation over an alleged plot to extort money from his brother Paul. Matthias has admitted he was behind a video that appeared online last month, promising revelations about the 29-year-old Juventus midfielder. French prosecutors opened a judicial investigation earlier this month after former Manchester United player Paul said he was a target of extortion and threats from an organized gang. Moving to Arsenal, Ghana's Thomas Partey returned from injury to put in a tidy performance as Arsenal thrashed Brentford 3-0 to return to the top of the Premier League table. Partey suffered a thigh strain heading into Arsenal's matchday 4 game against Fulham and was initially slated to be out for about 6 weeks. However, he made a quicker recovery than expected. Partey started in midfield and lasted 78 minutes before being replaced by Albert Sambi Lokonga. He finished the game with the most touches and most passes and completed while making 7 ball recoveries. Still on Arsenal, 15-year-old Ethan Nwaneri became the youngest player in the Premier League history when he came on as a substitute player for Arsenal as they returned to the top of the Premier League with a comfortable 3-0 win at Brentford on Sunday. Now, Nwaneri, who is a 15-year-old, came on in the 2nd minute of stoppage time, the first player under 16 to play in the competition. Harvey Elliott, who is now at Liverpool, previously held the record at 16 years and 30 days when he played for Fulham in 2019. Now, that is it for today in retrospect. Thank you all for tuning in. The name still remains Shejackiesays. See you all on Wednesday.